Hey guys, today I'm going to be making the range blaster for Jacob's Crafts 7729. Thanks for the sub and thanks for the request. So let's get into it. First I started out by cutting some cardstock. Normally I would use Amazon cardboard, but I don't have that today. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to glue these two sheets together so we can make a cylinder base like we did in our last blaster tutorial. And we've got two circles here, and what you need to do is just curve it around. But what I'm doing now is I'm just making holes so it's easier, and because the PVC pipe is going to fit in there like so. It's really important that you put the holes in before you've glued the cylinder, otherwise it will end up ripping it. You're going to need 4 circles for this, and I only had 3, so what I'm doing is just tracing out another circle onto this EVA foam, and that's how we're going to make the cylinder. You'll see now, because what I'm doing is I'm doing it a bit differently this time. I'm gluing both circles to the cardstock, and then I'm going to wrap it around like a wheel, like here. So now that I've seen that works, we're just going to glue it and it'll stick, and then we'll be done with that. So what I'm doing now is I'm just finishing gluing the cardstock to the 2 foam pieces, and you can see that we've actually now finished the base of our thing, of our blaster, and make sure that it's all glued up, and now we can go on to the next part. I noticed that I had an old blaster make sitting around that I broke, so I used a bit of it as a template. That's what you can see here, to make that bit on the range blaster in Splatoon 3 that sort of overlaps, and that's what this is here. And now I'm just cutting it out, and you can see how it looks there. I think it looks great. So all we need to do now is glue this bit to it, and then we need to add another piece that goes round, so there's not a lot of white showing on the blaster. So after this, I got some red foam, and what I'm doing is I'm just tracing out this cool flame looking pattern that the blaster has, and I'm just cutting it out, and this is going to be glued onto the top of the blaster. So that's just what I'm doing here. You can make it longer, you can use orange foam, and you can even put orange foam on top of red foam to give it a better look, but I'm just going to do a simple because I am running low on materials, so that's what we're going to do. But you can see that it looks great, so all we need to do is trim it down a bit and glue it. So that's what I'm going to do here. We'll speed through this. all done that, I put the 2 PVC pipes in, and I'm cutting out another one because we need to. And we need to make another cylinder because that's how it sits in. You can see the circle sitting like that. So I'm getting some of that leftover cardstock and making a strip, and I'm just going to wrap it round again and just basically do the same thing we did before. Now what I'm doing is I'm tracing some of that leftover or a piece and a template onto some cardstock, and I'm gonna glue it here. As you can see, this is the bit that hangs from underneath the blaster. I don't know how to explain it, but this is how it will look. And if you just glue a small portion, then it will look really good. So that's what I did there. And you can see that the base of the blaster is really starting to come together, and you can see me connecting that piece there, and it's looking good. So all we need to do now is just cover that white bit of foam and cardstock in black foam. You can spray paint this if you want, but I think the black foam has a more matte black look to it, so we're going to keep it. I also glued a black circle to this cylinder because I didn't want it looking how it does now, so I'm just gluing a black circle to it and trimming it, and then we can finally glue it to the PVC pipes. And what I'm doing here is just making that everything is properly glued, so I don't have to do it later on. And that flap there, I'm just gluing so everything's rigid and sturdy, because we don't want this pot to break. Now I'm just basically just making and layering squares because I want this blaster to be a bit longer, so I'm just going to layer some squares onto foam and glue them together, and then we're going to glue it. Then we're going to cover it in white foam and glue it to the back of this cylinder. Now I'm making this bit that's gonna glue to this white piece here, and I'm just tracing it out onto some foam, and I'm gonna cut it out 3 times so it's got a bit of thickness. This is the bit that holds the suction bomb looking bit at the back of the blaster, like the ink tank. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm gonna trace it 3 times, or maybe even 2 times, because I don't want it too thick, and that's what I'll do. After I've glued it together, I'm gonna cut some black strips and cover the whole thing in black foam. And after you're done this, glue it to the back of that white piece there and really make that sure that it's strong, because it's going to be holding the bottle that's quite thick. So as you can see here, I've got this suction bomb template and I'm just trying to find like a bottle that it fits around. So you can either laminate this or you can do what I'm about to do, which is get this folder and then I glue the template to it, and this is going to make sure that it doesn't rip and keep it looking fresh. And then we're going to wrap this around the bottle and cover the bottle in green foam. So that's what I'm doing here, and this kind of preserves it, so that's what we're going to do. And after you're done this, you need to glue it to the corner of the black piece right there. You'll see when I do it as well. And really make sure that it's really strong so it doesn't fall off. Unfortunately, I lost some of the footage where I made the handle for this, but all I did was take 3 pieces of foam, glue them together and stick them to the bottom. But what I'm doing now is I cut a circle of cardstock out and glued it to the front of the blaster, and I'm just gluing it now. And then after, I just make this small rectangular strip, and after this I got a deodorant cap, covered a bit of it in black foam, and then what I did is just glued it so it looked like the nozzle for the blaster, and here it is. I actually went the extra mile and made a second range blaster, and I actually think I like the second one better than this one here. But if you enjoyed this video, drop a like, subscribe and comment what Splatoon you want to see next. Thank you Jacob's Crafts for the idea, the sub, and I'll see you later. See ya.